Sorry, I don't have much time anymore, so I won't go into this. But what I wanted to also highlight is it's all in the package. What the meat industry and all that. The proteins from meat, they are packaged together with fats. That's how it is. Tapi proteins from plants, without the fats, and they have other vitamins and minerals and all that. Even Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam pun ada pernah ada dia punya hadis, also in the Quran, where for us actually, when we should only eat to live. Alright, so where kita makan ni hanya untuk boleh berdiri, macam ni. Kalau paling kuat pun dia kata a third for food, a third for water, and a third for air. So maknanya makan sebelum kenyang sebagainya kan. Even in the Western society, they are talking about this as the Okinawa punya diet pula. Pula dah. The Okinawa, because they kata jangan makan sebelum kenyang. So I mean, in the Japanese Okinawa ni, they also apply this in their lifestyle as well, and that's how they can live. They have the population with the most centennials, 100 plus over umur dia. Okay, so all right, so I won't go into this. Sorry, I don't have much time anymore, so I'll just go into the final tips and summary. I believe what we saw earlier from Dr. Vaiti was that most of us are probably here on the left side of this egg here, where we are omnivores, eating both meat-based foods and other foods, veg and fruits. But then what we want to do is move towards the right, and so this challenge nanti for the 7-day plant-based challenge, we're kind of like going into the center here, being a more vegan plant-based kind of eating. But ultimately, if you want to reap the full medical benefits that Dr. Jessreen highlighted earlier, you would want to start to adopt a whole food plant-based diet. Okay, I won't have time to go into details what that means and what's the difference and all that, but you can find that out. Look at all the documentaries and Google that. So just to wrap up, definitely what you want to do during this challenge is to increase more vegetables, fruits, legumes, whole grains, nuts and seeds, and avoid and try to eliminate altogether any daging lembu, ayam, seafood, milk, butter, cheese, yogurt, eggs. A lot of the cakes, cookies out there, semua ada eggs atau milk. So try to avoid them. Kalau if you're going for bread, for instance, gadinya ada susu dalam bread dia. So you can check out the ingredients. Tapi Massimo bread, tak ada susu. Okay, so if you still want your bread, then go for the Massimo bread. Yang tu yang generic one. Tapi kalau yang lagi healthy kinds, the Adventist or sprouted bread, even better lah. Okay. So during this challenge, if you're going through the challenge, these effects macam gassy, flatulating, bloating, all these are normal because it's your body is undergoing through change, the detoxing effect, especially if you're increasing a lot of beans into your diet. Kalau you tak pernah makan banyak kacang-kacang atau beans ni, dia mungkin ada angin sikit lah, tapi give it time, it will adjust and your body will adjust after a few weeks. Alright, so it is normal, and your bowel movement inshallah akan improve dramatically as well. Maybe you can go 1 or 2 times in a day, and that is very normal, and that's what you should be doing actually. Okay, so to kind of like summarize, animal-based products causes inflammation to the body. It has no fiber in the animal foods. There's no vitamins, and there's lots of fats, and this is what leads to lifestyle diseases. Whereas fruits and vegetables is anti-inflammatory, is fiber-rich, they contain all the nutrients, and it heals the body. All right. So with that, let's do this together, and let's go into the question and answer, and we'll take the questions, and I would hopefully want to see more of you to join the challenge, and we still have time, I believe, to register the challenge. Later on, after the Q&A, our friends from PERTEMA and UiTM will kind of go through what the challenge is all about and how you can register yourself. All right, so I will be inviting once again Dr. Vaiti and Dr. Jess also to join me on stage, and kind of like turn on your mics, please, as we'll go through the questions. And so, okay. Let's go through a few questions. I know we're ran over time a little bit, but hopefully everyone can spare. Okay, tak? Kita spare about 10 to 15 minutes of Q&A. If you still want to ask questions, please do chat. Leave them in the chat as we go through the earlier questions that were brought up earlier. All right, maybe I will start straight to it. One of the questions, Dr. Vaiti or Dr. Jessreen, one of the questions were asking, how about people who are going through pregnancy and so forth? Would be a plant-based diet be suitable for them? Are there any concerns? Maybe you can comment on this.
Yes, so I've actually written an answer over there as well. I can't really find it now, but basically, yeah, okay, of course, there are categories like pregnant women, children, and, the immunosuppressed people, who have diseases like autoimmune diseases. They need more energy and they need more nutrients in their body. But that doesn't mean that they need animal-based product. You can easily get
Makan
your
nasi dengan
vitamin.
ulam.
Oh, sorry, someone's mic is
Nasi dengan
on.
sayur.
Okay.
Bila nasi.
Sorry, ada soalan ke? Kalau ada soalan, minta maaf, boleh tunggu Dr. Jessreen jawab dulu, nanti kita boleh tanya ya. Thank you.
Okay. So, so basically I was saying that, yeah, you need vitamins, you need calcium, you need folic acid, you need all these vital things when you're pregnant, right? You can get all these from plant-based food. You don't need to get it from the animal-based food. So if you do eat a variety, a colorful variety, eat a rainbow of food, you would get your nutrients that you can pass on to your baby. And of course, you have to get some supplementations need to be on board. Like folic acid is very, very important for pregnant ladies. So yes, do take folic acid supplements because you get that from the sun usually. So if you need to take the vitamin D supplements, go for it. Even calcium, you can get a whole lot of calcium from almond milk and soy milk. All these kind of green leafy vegetables provide so much calcium for your body. So you can pass on these wonderful nutrients to your baby and yourself as well. Dr. Vaiti, anything to add?
Yeah, I think you've done well.
Thank you.
I think
All
you
right.
need to add a little bit more than the normal individual because you have a baby growing, so you need to add some extra food, the sense of protein, carbohydrate in the form of plants and vegetables, and that should be fine. Yeah.
All right. So there's thank you for the organizers. You have compiled some of the questions here. So there's another question here, Doctor. I want to ask related to plant protein, since most of the plants low in one or more of the essential amino acids. Okay, there's a more advanced question. So how do we ensure that there's no nutritional gaps, especially for younger children? Maybe you can comment on that. The first question.
Yeah.
Very good question.
Yeah, I
Thank
think
you.
yes. I think plant-based proteins do have amino acids, not the essential but non-essential amino acids, but that is mainly sufficient, and we still can get the essential amino acids in other forms, and you just need to add in more of the proteins, nuts, seeds, and you'll be able to get is sufficient for either children or even adults. That we have already noted in many forms, and I think plant-based has no issue about amino acids.
Are you saying that a variety of these plant-based foods is needed to ensure that they have complete protein? Is that?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I think if you want to find out more later, you try to Google G-bombs or I believe a Daily Dozen. This was some kind of like helpful ideas how to make sure that everything is complete, and you want to try to incorporate all these elements into your diet. All right. So the next question, Dr. Vait, maybe for Dr. Vaiti, what's your opinion on GMOs, genetically modified plants? Is it any different? Is it detrimental, or what's your thoughts on it? or maybe you can also touch a little bit on organics as well.
Yeah. I think genetically modified food, I think there's a lot of controversies. People argue for and against. And depending on what they modify with, if they are modifying vegetable to vegetable, I think it's not an issue. But if they modify um, animal DNAs to plants, then it may be detrimental to our health. So we need to make sure, but we are not sure who is adding what, you know. So I normally avoid genetically modified plants because we are not sure what DNA they are using. Yeah, and the bad effects are basically it might change your DNA using genetically modified food. So it's best to go for our natural vegetables which are available in our garden itself or in our market, which is quite natural, or go for organic vegetables. And hopefully those organic vegetables that they are selling is really organic. So we must make sure that we know where we are getting these vegetables and fruits from. Yeah. So I feel, I mean, I generally do not take GMOs, probably because I'm not sure where the origin is from. Yeah. So I think we have to be cautious.
Yes. All right. Thank you, doctor. But at the same time, if you have that option of between a GMO plant-based product and a meat product, then I would still encourage to take the GMO plant-based product, comparatively speaking, right? So I guess it depends on where you're coming from, what you're trying to go for, and where you're getting your foods. All right. So I think the next question.
We are
Yep.
not getting much of this genetically modified food in Malaysia, but in the West, yes. And they don't have to label it in the
I see.
West because of the food regulations. Yeah. But now they insist that it must be labeled because of probably some side effects from somewhere. So I think it is good to read your labels to make sure it is GMO free. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's the same
All
as
right.
having processed food as well. Genetically modified is undergoing some sort of process, and we don't actually know actually what is happening there and how is it made. And so, research and all that there is there, but it's not fully showing the effects of what it does to your body in the long run. So it's always best to eat, the food in its most natural form, the whole food, fresh foods.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Jessreen.